Hi, I'm Shay Oliver. Welcome to the Priority Paradigm. I'm sharing stories of amazing people who have made radical changes in their lives for something more important. Today, I'm joined by Tommy Gaessler, and he's got an awesome story to tell you. So without further ado, Tommy, please tell us your story.
Thank you, Shay. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm excited to be here and share my story. So my story starts I'd say, in high school. I was a sophomore, and I was trying to pick some classes to take, and I saw that they had a couple coding classes. And I was really interested in coding because my dad actually was founder of a tech company, and I got to spend time around developers and in his cool offices and at meetups. So I wanted to learn how to code. So I took the coding class, fell in love with it right away. And then throughout my high school career, I learned how to code online by myself, self-teaching through sites like Codecademy, building little websites. And then I eventually took all the coding classes my high school offered, and I still wanted more. So I did, it's my senior year, I did after school coding classes, or sorry, I had to say evening coding classes through this company called Galvanize. And they have evening courses you can take. There are a few nights a week for 2 hours. And so I did those. I took 3 of those classes. And then I just loved it so much that I wanted more. So senior year, you're trying to find your options, what to do after high school. I was meeting with my college counselor. I didn't really want to go to college. I hated being stuck in, sort of a box and having to take classes that I was required to take, like history. I only wanted to do coding. So I looked at other options, and I found out about the Galvanize full-time course. It's 6 months. You learn how to code. You learn how to build full stack web applications. So you take Facebook or Instagram, or learning how to build an application like that from start to finish. And that really intrigued me because it was only 6 months long and $21,000 to do it. And then they have a job placement rate of 97%, I think.
Wow.
And so it was that, or go to college for 4 years, pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars, try to get into the engineering school, and then get a job after you graduate, right? So obviously I chose Galvanize as the fast track. I knew what I wanted to do. So after I graduated, so I told my college counselor this, and I went to a very prestigious Jesuit Catholic college prep high school where 99% of kids go to college, like these crazy universities, and that 1% of kids that don't go to college end up playing Major League Baseball right out of like school. So I was a little different in this case, but my college counselor was supportive in this choice, and she actually started recommending Galvanize to other students who loved coding. And so graduated, and then I graduated in May, and then I started Galvanize July 5th. So I had a shorter summer than all my friends, and then I hit the ground running. And then 6 months later, I graduated from Galvanize on December 16th. And then a month after that, I had a full-time job as a software developer and dev evangelist. And then the story gets better. A week after I joined the company Apostrophe, we started TechStars. So the company moved up to Boulder, and I got to go through the TechStars Boulder Accelerator program with Apostrophe. Working out of the TechStars office every day, learning how to scale, raise money for your company. And it's funny, the stats for getting into TechStars is actually harder to get into. It's harder to get into TechStars than Harvard and Stanford. So I got to go, learn how to code in 6 months, and then went to the best startup school in the world. And then now I've been working for Apostrophe for almost 2 years, loving every second of it. I was the 3rd employee, and now we have almost 25 employees. We just closed a round of funding, a Series A, and we have, you know, live product with over 2,000 customers, paying customers. So it's been a hell of a last 2 years.
Yeah, it sounds pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
So most of your classmates from high school are juniors now?
Yeah, they're going to be juniors as of today, I think, or
So
yesterday in college. So
so so you took a different path at a very, very young age. A lot of people go about shifting way later in life toward a passion, toward something that they love. But you figured that out fairly young. What was it like being around your friends that were planning to go to college? What was their reaction when you said, "Hey, I'm blowing off this. You know, I'm at a college
yeah,
high school, but I'm going to blow off going to college."
right. So some of them thought I was crazy for doing that. Others thought it was an amazing idea. And I actually had two of my best friends drop out of college because of, you know, the path I proved could be possible. So one of them just finished Galvanize a few weeks ago, and one of them's almost done. He has about a month left. So they actually were inspired by what I did, and
That's awesome.
wanted to do the same thing.
So, other than your passion for coding, why else did you choose this path versus a traditional path? Or was it
Um, I mean, I want to start my own company, and a tech company. And the best way to start a tech company is to, you know, learn how to program and build applications. And I didn't want to do that after 4 years. I wanted to learn how to code now. And then also, it's way cheaper, right? I don't have to take on a lot of debt at a young age. So I'm debt free. Um, I have a great job. And the time too. I mean, 6 months versus 4 years. And I was like so bored in high school. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to start companies. I wanted to build applications, build apps. So I didn't want to be stuck, you know, 4 years. So I was like, I want to do the fastest track possible, and it worked out.
that's actually really, really, really cool. So, did you have any people around you that were really pushing you not to go down this path, to go get that, to get the check box, to get the 4 year degree? Because you know, I can imagine what a lot of them say. But did you have many
Yeah,
people around you saying that?
yeah. Ironically, my mom did not want me to do this. She wanted me to go to college. Um, she was very traditional, you know. She wants me to get an education, be well-rounded.
Sure.
Um, and I, you know, I had discussions with her and stuff, and maybe I'll go back to college later. Um, but as of right now, I want nothing to do with going to college. So, but I mean, it worked out. She's so happy for me and proud of me.
Hmm.
And I think I actually make more money than she does. So I don't think how much she can talk right now.
That's great. So, what would what would you say to somebody who was thinking about following your path but a little bit unsure and was actually trying to
I,
weigh between going to
right.
traditional university and something like Galvanize?
I'd say if you love coding and you want to just focus on coding and not, um, you know, do a bunch of prereq classes in college, spend a bunch of money, and then finally, like when you're a junior, senior, then you start really learning how to code. If you want to start to look like you love it so much that you want to start now and, you know, learn a ton in only 6 months, then it's perfect for you. And if you're still unsure, um, it'd be smart to take, you know, some evening classes at a coding school like Galvanize, like I did. And that's how I really fell in love with it, because I got to, you know, have a little taste of the program without committing to the full 6 months.
Hmm. So, did your college counselor,
Hmm.
was it an immediate, "Hey, this is a great idea" for you, or was there a, you know, I mean, her job's college counselor, not.
Right, right, right. I mean, I was kind of avoiding her because I had already committed to doing Galvanize and everything, and she didn't know about it. So finally, she's bugging me and bugging me and bugging me to come in. And so I come in, and she says, "Hey, Tommy, you're one of, right, my last students who I don't know like what they're doing. I haven't really sat down with and gone through the university application process. And I said, oh, I actually already have a plan of what to do after. I'm doing this 6-month coding school called Galvanize. And she had heard nothing of the sorts. She knew nothing about coding schools or these alternative options for college. I mean, she is a college counselor, but there's all these alternatives of college. And I told her about the program, shared some success stories about it, and she was very impressed. She actually wanted to do it for herself. She's like, is this something I could do right now? Because it's such an amazing program. And but no, she was very supportive. And she, like I said, she was recommending it to other kids. A kid in the class that graduated after me actually ended up doing Galvanize in Seattle, and he just finished up. He did a great job.
Very, very cool.
So yeah.
So how, me coming from a little bit older perspective, you've had one job. Do you ever experience any fears that, hey, this is kind of the path I've been on and it's going to be harder for me to do anything broader than this?
Not really. So in software development and coding, there's many, many, many different roles that you can grow into. For example, part of my job is to build applications for our customers. And then part of my job is also to, share this product in demos with investors, the community, at meetups, with customers, right? Potential customers. So I'm also kind of like also a sales engineer. I like to work with people on the people side and the coding side. But there's so many different roles you can grow into. I mean, I could maybe see myself being a product manager where I, lead a team of developers. Or, there's so many roles. Eventually I want to be either a CEO or a CTO. And as I gain more experience, working with a startup, learning the ins and outs, I just have so much experience and knowledge, right, of learning from failures, other people's failures and successes, and then I can apply that to myself. So I don't think there's any scaling issues. Plus, software development and all related jobs are so in demand right now. I think the stats in 2020, 1 million jobs will go unfulfilled. So really, if you are good at what you do and you have the skill, you can do anything. You don't necessarily have to have the degree.
So are you seeing, I realize you've been in the industry for a short period of time, but are you hearing less emphasis on that 4-year degree of having that BS or that BA?
Yes. So actually, as a coding school grad, you're more qualified to fill a software development role than a college grad, because college, they're teaching you outdated languages. They're teaching you a bunch of theory, and they're not teaching you how to build an application, right?
Right.
And they also don't teach you tools that our industry uses, like GitHub. I know people that come out of, an engineering program, and they have no idea how to use GitHub, which pretty much every developer in every job uses GitHub for their code management and collaboration. And for them to have no idea what that is, and go into interviews and not know what GitHub is or not know what this is, and then they get hired too, and then they have to take a week to learn GitHub. But the coding schools really tailor all your skills to the most in-demand languages, the most widely used languages and tools, and really tailor you to be a perfect fit for that software development job that all these companies are looking for.
Very cool. Very cool. So do you ever run into strangers, not necessarily your friends, that are in college that want to know how you did what you did and how you made the decision not to go to college?
Yeah. So I hang out with my college friends a lot, go to, parties or events with them, hang out with them around campus, and then they're like talking to me, hey, so yeah, what school do you go to? I was like, oh, I actually don't go here. Or sometimes they ask me like, what class are you in here? What grade are you? I was like, I actually didn't go to college. I did this coding school right after high school, and now I'm a software developer. And they're like, whoa, you're a software developer. And so they're like, wait, how'd you do that? And so I tell them about it, and most of them are really interested, especially the ones who are, already in computer science. and know that it's much slower paced. And so yeah, they're all very interested. They ask about it. I've had people, friends, and people I've just met shadow Galvanize, see what the program's like, and show them, like what I did, what I'm doing now, even like in my job, show them what it's like at the end of the tunnel. So
Sure. Sure, that's extremely cool. So tell me a little bit about your TechStars experience. How much did that expand your your repertoire of educational capabilities and business capabilities?
yeah, well, I learned from the best. So TechStars, there's this whole network of mentors, of very successful, entrepreneurs and people who are in the startup community, and like the best people, and they come in every day and they're working with you and telling you how you can improve your pitch, how you can improve your product, your company, your design, how to raise money. And so I learned so much. It was amazing. And I think the biggest thing I learned was how hard it is to actually start a successful company. Before TechStars, I was like, oh, you just build an app and then you can, find some customers and do this and that. But at TechStars, we focused on working on our company. We took basically a 3-month break from working in our company and worked on our company to form, the culture we wanted, the tactics, the all the things that you need a company to be successful. We implemented these strategies, and then after that, we worked in our company then using these best practices we learned, and then scaled like wildfire.
Very cool. Very cool. So from a business perspective and a coding perspective, you've had a hell of a ride over the last couple of years in moving forward. Having not gone down a traditional path, which you were kind of set up for in a college prep high school,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever feel like you might have missed something by not going to college?
Good question. I get this asked a lot, and I do feel like the social aspect of college, where you meet a bunch of like-minded people. I probably missed out a little on that because, I mean, say CU Boulder, for example, there's all these communities of business. Like I'm in the business community. I have friends there, and there's all these clubs and programs you can do if you love entrepreneurship and business. They start a business together and work on that, or all the engineering hackathons and everything they have. So I feel like I missed out a little on the social aspect, but I do have a community of kids like me who did the same thing. I have basically six good friends that I met after I did Galvanize that didn't go to college. They learned how to code in a coding school, and now they're working these awesome jobs, building the future of technology all across the globe. So
Very cool.
even though I didn't have that community and social aspect, since I didn't go to college, I was able to find that and build that
Sure.
here.
So do you find that you experience any either bias for or bias against people with college degrees?
I mean, some companies won't hire you without a college degree,
Right.
like big corporate companies, but a lot of startups who need talent can't be too picky, right? Because startups, like, they don't have a ton of money, they don't have a track record necessarily. You don't know if they're going to go under right tomorrow or next year or in 10 years. So and startups are more fun anyway to work for, in my opinion. But um I mean, bias, I mean, college kids know a ton about computer science theory, and they definitely know more than me. But as a coding school grad, I know how to build full stack applications, right, 6 months out of the program. And another interesting um, thing to think about is if you have a coding school student and a college student starting at the same time. The college student's doing computer science degree, the coding school is doing full stack web development. So the coding school student is done in 6 months, right, has a job making close to six figures, and then the um, college student probably hasn't even, they've had their first semester by the time the coding student is done. And then they have 4 more years, sorry, 3.5 years. Then they get their, bachelor's in computer science. And then the coding school student has 3.5 years of experience, right? The college student doesn't have any experience at all. They just have their 4-year education. So I'm actually, as a coding student with 4 years of experience, and a college student with no years of experience but a bachelor's in computer science, the coding student is way more valuable, way more valuable. A company would always choose someone with 4 years of experience over someone with none, right?
Right.
And you might even be considered a senior developer at that point before before the college student even graduates.
Sure. So I got to ask one question here, since you said you hang out with a lot of your friends still, which makes sense, that are on college campuses. How many of them are jealous of the fact that you got cash and they don't?
Jeez, I wouldn't say they're jealous. I mean, they might be deep down, but they're all excited for me. They definitely can't, live the same lifestyle I can, but I feel like they're inspired, and it inspires them to, work hard, because that's what they're going to be doing after they graduate from college. So I try to, when I hang around them, I try to, live like a college student, not go out to like fancy places to eat all the time, and, just be on their level, take it down a notch.
Yeah, no, sure. You don't want to show up. I mean, absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah. So, let's go back to your high school just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When you started high school, freshman, sophomore year, was your focus, okay, I'm going to get good grades to go toward a good college?
I don't think I was looking that far ahead when I got into high school, and I've never been someone who gets straight A's.
Sure.
At the best, I would get all B's, but I kind of struggled in school with academics. One reason is because I have dyslexia, so it takes longer for me to process and like learn things. So I was never, like a straight A student, but I feel like my dyslexia helped me adapt and learn my own way, which is why I was able to pick up coding so well. I mean, I was say that again.
How did you deal with the dyslexia to code? I mean, that seems to me like there'd be some challenges.
Well, right. So when you're in a classroom, full of 30 kids, the teaching style isn't really tailored to each kid.
Right.
So me being able to learn coding on my own, I was able to use my own, learning style and do it in a way that made sense with me.
Sure.
So,
very cool. Very cool. So as you headed into junior and then into the senior year, trying to decide what you were doing, did you have any influences on you other than your own experience to push you in the direction of going to coding school and not
yeah. So ironically, my dad was on the other side of this. He wanted me to do the coding school and, join a tech company and be an entrepreneur. So he pushed me to do this, and I loved it. Like, he didn't even need to push me, because I mean, he is the one who told me about the idea in the first place, because he actually started his company, Cloud Elements, at Galvanize. Galvanize is also a co-working space. So he started it there, and then he learned about the program, and he told me about it. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So it was kind of, in the back of my head. And then finally, when the time came to start thinking about making a decision, I, considered this, and then I fell in love with it. But I always, I would go to meetups, like tech meetups with my dad. He would speak at, events on how to start a business. I'd hang out at his office, besides along with the developers, see what they were doing every day. I actually interned there too, and it was really fun. So he had a big positive impact on me choosing this decision, this path.
Sure. Now, not that many high school students did, but did you read any books while you were going through this to try to make a decision on a path, or was it more an experiential?
I love to listen to podcasts.
Ah, okay.
about, yeah, about, entrepreneurs and companies to start. Listen to the Elon Musk podcast, or sorry, the audiobook, podcast and audiobooks. I
Sure.
like to, listen to all the audiobooks about the successful entrepreneurs, and that just really inspired me to, do something different, break out of the status quo. I mean, if you want to do something extraordinary, you can't do something ordinary. So that really inspired me to, um, go my own way and make my own way.
Sure. So who are some of your heroes?
I love Elon Musk. I
Uh-huh.
think he's incredible. I have actually a Tesla Model 3 on the way, which I ordered when I was in high school. So right the first day the reservations opened, I was like, huh, I could put down, the $1,000 deposit and hold my spot. And then he's probably gonna, like he was saying, it'll be ready in 2 years. I was thinking I'll be done with Galvanize and I'll have a year and a half, maybe 2 years of work experience before I can even buy the car. So I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, that's awesome. Very,
Yeah.
very
So
cool. So when do you take delivery?
any month now, October to December. So I'm
Cool.
thrilled.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you were in a position where you were with someone who was trying to figure out what's the right path for them, they're a high school
Hmm.
student. They're looking at all the different things that they could do. What and the world's open to them, just like it was open to you.
Yep.
What's the one thing that you would tell them to consider as they look toward their future?
I'd say if you know what you want to do, then go for it full force. Um, if you don't know what you want to do, try a bunch of different things, see what sticks. Um, I mean, maybe go to college. A lot of kids don't know what they want to do and they go to college and they ended up doing something that, you know, that's they don't they're not in love with, right? I'd say try to find something that you're in love with that brings you joy, makes you get out of bed every morning and just go for that. Whether that means going to college and studying something or taking a faster track or, starting a company. And if you choose not to go to college, I know it's a hard choice because society tells you to do it, but college will always be around to take your money. So
Very, very good advice, and very true advice. They always will be.
yes.
Well, Tommy, I really appreciate you taking some time, and I'm really impressed with the path that you've chosen and how well you're doing. It sounds like you're off to an amazing start. I can hardly wait to pick up a local paper, or hit a local website, and see this great
Yeah.
startup that just got it's run by you, that just got its Series A and is
Yeah, hopefully one day. Yeah.
changing the world. So, anyone wanted to get a hold of you or learn more about you, what would be the best way? Websites, email, contact details, social media, etc.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Tommy Gaessler, and I'm sure you'll spell my name
Yeah.
somewhere, my last name because it's a little goofy spelling. But also my website tommygaessler.com has all my contact. Actually, if you go there, you can see more about me. You can see all my contact information. My LinkedIn, Twitter, GitHub. You can see some stories and some projects I've worked on too. If you're interested to see like what can a coder build. So that's all on my website. That's probably the best place to go.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Well, I always like to end with one last question. And
Hmm.
that question is, what question should I have asked you that I didn't ask?
That's a good one. Jeez.
Don't worry, a lot of people get very stumped, and sometimes it's okay if there isn't one.
Yeah. Maybe what's your what's your end goal you're working for, your dreams? Because then that can show what's motivating you and um, like where you have this drive and um, this sense of motivation,
All right.
to do something different or like what really motivated you to do that? Was it a goal, something you wanted to achieve, or was it something that was in your past, or
Sure.
I don't know.
All right. So answer
That's a
your
tough
question.
question. Jeez, I don't know. I want to start a company, I
Uh-huh.
want to start a company and change the world. So that's
Hey,
pretty generic, but we'll see.
no, that's actually that's an awesome thing. I think you'd be surprised at how many people don't want to do that. So I think it's
It is hard.
yeah, for people that are in the entrepreneurial space, it just kind of becomes part of your your daily routine in your
Right,
life.
right.
So, well, thank you very much for spending some time with us today. This has been really interesting, and I really appreciate your story and look forward to hearing about a great future for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay.